Oh man, it is just the sunniest day today. I feel like we haven't had this much heat and sun in like months now. Oh, it feels so good. Alright, so the topic of today is going to be my fourth and final webcomic series, Dirge Ed. And I gotta be perfectly honest with you, I'm kind of getting tired of these. I am looking forward to getting back to the casual vlogging days of just filming and seeing what is up. So as I mentioned earlier in one of the other episodes, in my first webcomic series, I tried to kind of write Dirge Ed and Maggie out of my head in a way, because they kept being these sort of reoccurring characters I couldn't let go of. So that kind of became the theme of the first webcomic series I worked on. But as you guys probably know by now, that didn't stick for too long. That guy's being so freaking loud. So I guess it kind of started out with me doing these sort of individual artworks featuring the characters, where I continued to reimagine them in different forms, which obviously was nothing new, so I hadn't really written them out of my head yet. And eventually it kind of got up to the point where I was like, I kind of want to do another story about them. One that isn't included into the major Strangeverse canon really, but maybe thought of as a non-canonical kind of webcomic series. Now the major influence that I used to kind of direct my art style and the whole structure and writing of this new series was 100% derived from Calvin and Hobbes, which has been a personal favorite of mine for years now. Not only because of its surprisingly mature humor, but also in its surprisingly mature ways of dealing with grown-up things like death and life and just anything, really. I mean, it was for those of you who don't know, Calvin and Hobbes was a newspaper comic strip that featured a young boy and his imaginary, or maybe not imaginary, pet tiger. So when I was trying to figure out ways to make this new Dirge Ed series, I kind of used Calvin and Hobbes as my sort of guiding light, or a cornerstone of what I was trying to aim for. So this new series, after doing some initial concept art and sketching them again and again and again, I eventually settled on an art style, and in April of 2016, I launched the series on Tabastic. Now with that art direction in mind, what I set out to make was a series focused more on comedy than in drama, which is kind of not what I tried to do in the past. I'd always try to merge the two together. Although it did allow a few dramatic moments, mostly the series was just kind of based to be a joke of the week styled comic book series, which was okay, because at that time I had two other series going on, Renegades and Black Rock Park, and both of them, especially at that point in time, were very plot heavy, were very dramatic. And I think Dirge Ed not only came to be because I wanted to make more stuff with those characters, but also because I kind of wanted to escape the seriousness of it all. I kind of wanted to make an escapist series from my own shit. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? Now, like I mentioned earlier, this series was kind of conceptualized as a non-canonical story. Although all the characters are semi-reincarnations of previous characters, like Dirge Ed and Syriana and Maggie, and Sealing Squid from the original series makes a triumphant return. It was always framed in a way, in a sort of separate universe that didn't really alter or affect the main one. Sounds super complicated, but that was kind of my way to just say, like, you know what, just have fun with this one. None of these matter. Like, just fucking have fun. Just fucking have fun. That's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to have fun. I didn't want to think of the multi-layered, reincarnation cause and effects that all the other series had to line up with. I just wanted to do something fun. Another imperative thing that I always wanted to include was a sense of continuity. if something happened in one episode, it had to be, the rest of the episodes had to be constructed in a way that acknowledged that that happened. It was never like a hard reset or status quo. There was a status quo, but things still kind of changed. The world changed around them, and their actions, no matter how small or how gigantic, usually always had consequences. And that's kind of what I used as a basis for the whole series. The problem with this, because it is such a comedic series and lacks so much in drama, there's not really much to talk about. But maybe the best way to end this, because it was just such a jovial time. It was just like so uplifting and just so like, yay, that it feels kind of like the best sort of happy ending to this. Yes, thank you, sir, for disrupting my recording. It kind of does sort of feel like the best way to end this whole vlogging series, because it does kind of give it a happy ending in a way. It kind of ends on a lighter note. Much as with everything else, the fans were really fun. I didn't really receive any or that many fan art for this series, but it had a pretty decent following. Now, to be honest, I kind of bit off more than I could chew with this reflecting series, because I tended to do 4 episodes in a week, and the past few weeks have been just absolutely insane when it comes to work, which is good, because there's not been a lot of stuff for me to vlog, because it's just like been me working. So this series was kind of a blessing in disguise for that. It gave me a bit of reprieve from doing, I guess, interesting stuff, and allowed me to focus on work, but it also added a shit ton of extra work on top of all that. That being said, I am very happy to be going back to a regular vlogging form, and hope to be doing some interesting things in the coming days and weeks. If this weather holds up, fuck, I just might hit the pool. We've not done that in ages. We used to do that all the time last summer. It was fucking awesome. Finally, guys, I want to really thank you all for indulging me in this series. It was fun to revisit all of this stuff. It was fun to kind of like go through these processes and kind of revisit what was going on in my life, and got some fun responses from you guys, and it's just fun to share this stuff with you. And again, I am so relieved to be going back to the regular, non-structured sort of vlogging form. Oh my god, there's pollen all over the place. Good god. But the sun is out. The weather's finally amazing. I'm gonna continue to walk a little bit. Oh my god, butterflies. So many butterflies just flying all over the place. It is just, holy shit, I've seen like 200 butterflies just flying around. There's another one. They're all over the place. Anyway, guys, thanks again for indulging me, and I will see you again next week with more of my regularly scheduled programming, which nobody really scheduled.